If you're familiar with my content, you'll know that I'm a big fan of these butane gas cartridges. They're relatively inexpensive, and for my style of camping, cooking, they do everything that I want them to do. In last week's video, if you managed to catch that, you know that I was looking at a remote set of legs to go with these butane gas canisters, and it was a horrible thing. It was a bit of a disaster, and I sent it back to Amazon. And thanks to a few suggestions from people and a bit of trolling around, I came across this. It's a rocket stand Z23-CB made by Campingmoon. This is how it comes out of the box. It's not particularly light, however it's very well made indeed, and I've been super impressed with this. The alternative to this that I found was the MSR lowdown stove, which is almost double the price. So I didn't really want to be spending my money on that because it does the same thing as this, although the footprint on that's a little bit bigger. It's really well made, and it's easy to get your can, twist, and you're set up and you're good to go. The footprint size on this isn't as big as the MSR lowdown stove. So to get the idea of size, what I did, I measured from the tip there right to the very center there, and that gave me 68 millimeters. So that should give you a general idea of the size of the footprint if you're interested. With this one, I like the fact that the can goes straight on the side, and that gives you some added stability. That's not going to go anywhere, providing you keep this on a very flat surface. They do different versions of this as well, Campingmoon. One's got an extension pipe going out so you can attach it remotely to your gas canister. There's another one, it's got like a double header where you can run two things at once, although I wasn't particularly interested in that. And as I said, overall, build quality, price, I don't think you can go wrong with that really. Just as a bit of fun, I went out and purchased this as well. This is the BRS 3000T. It's a really tiny little gas stove, and I thought the two would work really well together. When I first set this up, I realized the build quality wasn't the best because one of the arms is really floppy, the other two are a bit stiff, and when I first set it up and put a pot on top of it, it was off a funny angle. So what I did, I've got one of these arms and I bent it down a bit, and then that's given me a much flatter surface. But to be honest, for the money, I think it was only about 18 quid. I can't complain. I've read mixed reviews on this. I think some of the reviews are negative because people have tried to put too large a pot on top. Just to give you an idea of size, that's a Nalgene style cup. Fits perfectly. MSR Titan kettle. That's beautiful as well. Stanley cook set, no problems. I wouldn't put anything any bigger than this on there. This is a little pan, 14 centimeters in width, and if you want to put more on there, then I think you're expecting a bit too much. One more for you. This is a 900 milliliter pot. So anything up to a litre, you shouldn't have an issue with it. Anything bigger, I wouldn't even bother. Okay, let's fire this little bad boy up. There you go. It's a nice little flame. They call it some kind of vortex thing, I think, inside there. All that actually means is, instead of that flame coming directly up, it gets deflected a bit and that spreads the flame out a little. Let's crank him up. brought you out a bit because you can see what this will do now. It's cranking right up. Now that's a big old flame going on there. To be honest, I would probably never ever use it any higher than that, because the travel of flame going to the outside of the pot is going to be too much, and you're just going to lose most of that heat, so it'll become inefficient. I found that using these butane gas cartridges, it gets to the point where the pressure reduces, although there's still a little bit of gas in there. So I thought with this setup I can basically get some free ambient light in the evenings. If you've used any of these items before, feel free to share your experiences in the comments.